Hey guys, this is Nicholas. Uh, this is the fourth vlog I'm making for Planned All Along, and today I'm gonna talk to you a little about Christmas. Yeah, it's coming, huh? Do you realize that 8 days from now it's gonna be Christmas? This year went by so fast. I can't believe we're already in December, so close to Christmas. It went by like a breeze. Sure, when it comes to Christmas, I love almost everything. The family traditions, the values, the holiday specials. I'm not a fan of the songs, but that's because I've heard them too much. However, for as much as I love Christmas and the traditional aspect of it, I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't like the aspect of the gifts. Come on, admit it. You all love it when you get something on December 25th. When you unwrap the paper and you find the present that was covered by it, and you see it and you say, hey, that's exactly what I wanted. Or, never thought I'd get that, but hey, it works. So yeah, I love Christmas. I love getting gifts. I wish you get something you wanted, or I wish you get the money to buy something you want. I was making this vlog today because I'm still trying to keep a schedule on those. I couldn't do one 2 weeks ago, and I regretted it, but I had some very good real life reasons for it. And so I'm trying to make one every week, even if I don't have time for it. I'll just make it shorter. And that's the case this week. I have a lot of things to do, so I decided I'm gonna cut back on the time needed to make the vlog, and I'm just gonna make a small one with that's not gonna go over 20 minutes like the past one. Just now, I'm done writing the final review of the year, and it's 3 parts, and it's done. And now I've started writing the look back on 2014 as a whole, which is gonna be published on January 1st, 2015. And yeah, that's going smoothly too. So I'm just gonna do a little look back on the month of November 2013, which had like 3 reviews. That's not very long, but I figured I could just do that, you know? So, a look back on November 2013. How about we start? Purpals. I always like the kind of games in which you take care of an animal, whether it's Nintendogs, Purpals, or any other really. Purpals is done in such a cheap way. It was really not that great. A problem I encounter pretty often when I'm writing my reviews is that I'm revisiting the game I'm reviewing, because I'm only reviewing games that I own. Thus, I've all played them at least once before. Which means that when I'm playing a game that I haven't played in years, I literally rediscover it. And sadly, with the new critical eye I've gained through making the site, I can see more of the defects in that game. And yeah, Purples just didn't hold up very well. Then again, it was in the bargain bin at Walmart, so I got what I paid for. Also, very often, the problem with these games is not that you have to replay them for fun or to make the review. It's that you're just not interested enough in them to do it. Some of those games are not boring, but you've played them so much that in the end you've gotten tired of them. Now I have to review these games for the site, but it doesn't help that it's still pretty annoying and pretty boring that I have to replay these games that I had forgotten because I got bored with them. If I got bored with them, that's because they're not good. And Purples is just that. To an extent, it's kinda like shovelware, which I've denounced in my review of Anubis 2, but you can tell there's been a lot more work to this in this one than there's been in other shovelwares. Not all shovelwares can be bad. Most of them are, but some are okay. It really all depends on the quality of the finished product. I don't know if Purples even qualifies as shovelware, but I don't think it makes much of a difference anyway. When I replayed this game for the site, I found out I didn't enjoy it so much anymore, and I also noticed quite a few problems with the 3D models for the cats. And so it led to the relatively negative review that I published in the end. It's the kind of thing that happens frequently. With every game or movie I review, I try to be positive. I try to find what's good about it first. That makes it all the worse when I only find bad stuff to talk about. Because then, the bad stuff is like all I can see. If I don't see anything good in it, it must really suck. That's why Anubis 2 received the royal treatment of shit. Okay, back to Purples. In the end, all of its defects overshadowed the positive aspects, so it got a relatively negative review. That's how it goes. Well, more negative than most other games I review anyway. So, that's it for Purples. I can just say next. Wii Sports. Oh yeah, the game that was launched along with the Wii. It was the first game to use the motion sensor, so of course it wasn't perfect. Personally, it's one of my favorite games when I want to play with my parents. That's what's so great about it. The controls are simple. You don't have trouble understanding them. The only aspect is that it's very physical. You can get tired playing this game. And quite frankly, you can do that with Just Dance 3 as well, but I kinda like games that make you lose weight. As you may have noticed, I'm sitting on this chair pretty often, so it just does me a lot of good when I'm moving to the living room to play something like Just Dance or Wii Sports or Just Dance 2015 or Wii Sports Resort or any other game that requires me to move a little, which is great. Even if it's a game like No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, I still have to swing around with the Wiimote. That gets pretty tiring after a while. I love that even my parents can play this game with me. It helps, really. I'm not the type of gamer who says, no, all the games must be played by gamers. Casual gaming sucks. Shoo, casual gaming sucks. No, I'm not this kind of guy. I just like it when I can share my passion of gaming with other people. Even people who are not gamers in the first place. Anyone can play with you at that point. And not just other gamers. That's what's so great. It might take a while to explain the basics and how the thing works, but aside from that, it's alright. So Wii Sports, I've always liked it. The sports themselves are okay. I really like some of the mini games they made to go with the sports. Especially the golf minigame that requires hitting the ball so that it gets on the target. And you get points depending on how close to the center of the target you are. I got a pretty high score for that one, I think. It was an easy review to write. It was fun to play this game again when I wrote it. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, that's it. I guess I can move on to the next one now. Garfield, the Search for Pookie. Man, this sucks! Okay. It sucks, yes. It's horrible, yes. Is it awful? Well, yeah. I kinda grew up with this game too, and I have never been able to beat it. Yeah, that's stupid, but it's one of those games that I've reviewed even though I haven't beaten it. Garfield, the Search for Pookie has a very simple concept. Garfield lost Pookie. He's searching for Pookie. He winds up facing lots of stuff that have no relation with what he's doing, which means the story is very poor. And then he goes back home and finds out that his Pookie was held hostage in the attic by a mafiosi mouse. Nope, still doesn't make sense to me. The story sucks, but the gameplay also sucks. Some levels are okay, but then there are levels that are friggin' complicated for no damn reason. There's a level where Garfield has to go get chickens on the farm. No problem, you ask? There's like a dozen chicken on every portion of the level, and there are 3 portions to this level. That makes 36 chickens, and each one of those portions is huge, and you always have to go back to the cage once you've got a chicken, because you have to bring it back to the cage, or else you can't pick the other chickens. That's very long. Seriously, this is the longest level I've ever seen in my life. Or maybe there are longer levels, but this one was extremely long and annoying. I mentioned that I don't like being annoyed. How I mentioned that I don't like when I'm wasting my time. It's usually at that level that I give up, cause I'm just so annoyed. And the only way I can test the other levels is by using a cheat code. Before that point, there's also a level where Garfield is in the car and he's stealing food from people, and sometimes they're holding energy balls, and other times they're holding bombs. And somehow Garfield survives eating that too, or maybe it blows up in his face. That depends. The result is a very poor game, which I really don't like. The idea that they use the comic strips to make sprites for the characters in this game is pretty cool, but in the end, it's not very enjoyable. As you may have understood, the problem I had when I started reviewing this game is that I was unable to finish it. The level with the chickens was just too annoying. Yes, I used a cheat code. Does that make it right? Not really. I keep telling you, I'm not the greatest gamer ever. I suck at some games. I suck at some games I bought. And yes, that includes the luck games, but that's another matter. I suck at Garfield the Search for Pookie, apparently. That or I'm not patient. I haven't even seen the ending. I don't think I've beaten the mafiosi mouse. But here's a wild guess. Garfield gets Pookie, kicks the mice out, and goes back to sleep. The end. Oh, and I think he kicks Odie somewhere in the middle. Cause no Garfield story is complete without him kicking Odie. So yeah, that's it. It was a pretty bad game and I just didn't like it. But I can tell I've done my best. I guess that's all I can say for this one. And that's all I had to say for this vlog. Yeah, it was pretty short. The next one is gonna be longer. It's gonna be near Christmas. The review that starts this Friday is Rock Band 3 for the Nintendo DS. Is it bad? You'll see. All I can tell you is that this review was very long to write. At first I wanted to do a musical review with it, but I realized very quickly that I had no inspiration for it as a musical review. I felt uninspired by the 25 songs that were in this game. Is this mean 25 is pretty small for a Rock Band game? Yeah, I was too uninspired to come up with lyrics, with alternate lyrics, and then I realized I had too much to say to cram it into song lyrics. So I decided against using lyrics, and I just went with the regular reviewing style. But expect a lot of puns based around music, and around the 25 songs that are in the game. I tried to make a pun for each song that is in the game, and sadly some of them are pretty damn obvious. You can't make a pun out of everything, right? As a result, Rock Band 3DS was very hard to write, but now that it's done, I can focus on the upcoming reviews, and it's gonna continue in January. As you may have noticed, I updated the upcoming reviews section of the site, in which I say that in January, I'm going to review the Super Mario Bros. Movie. God help us all. I'm also going to review Mario Party DS, which is gonna be pretty great. And then I'm moving on to a Raving Rabbids month. This is gonna be awesome. 8 parts. 1 part for each game. Actually, Raving Rabbids 1, 2, TV Party, and 2 for the Nintendo DS. And with each one of those, I'm gonna have a top 12 of my favorite mini games and a bottom 12 of my least favorite mini games. This is gonna be long, but this is gonna be fun. And I wonder if I can talk to my inner rabbit. Oh yeah, this is gonna be really funny. So that's all I had to say for this time. See you this Friday for the first part of my review of Rock Band 3DS. And see you later. Bye!